So who is the voice?
I was a clip that Chad found early on. I don't know. It's just some Wook lady. What's up, man?
Random voice. How are we doing, Sneaking Abby and Fast Enough?
Hey, everyone.
We good. I always forget that it must be weird because we're in daylight always for these East Coast shows. Contrast of.
Right.
Yeah.
You got another half hour probably still, huh?
Yeah,
We
we're
rely pretty heavily on the West Coasters though for the late shows. I mean, it's great to have you guys call in. I gotta start off with a clip, a highlight from last night's show. If you didn't watch last night, this was from our recap show last night.
Get into that, but like
that's why we aren't going to have any 20+ minute jams. We aren't going to have any 20+ minute jams because they figured out the segue. They no longer need to meander for 20 minutes to find out where they're going after 10 minutes.
We're still going to have
figured it out.
Jam.
They can still.
I honestly want to type it all out on a T-shirt. the whole monologue.
Oh Jesus Christ! Well, we got one, Kev.
In my defense,
a show-saving 25-minute jam.
30. It crested 30.
We're gonna probably dive into that, but let's run through this first set. It was a first set for Phish in 4.0.
I feel like every time I've been on Wook Plus, they play free.
Oh, really? So.
Oh, is that why they keep doing that?
I don't know.
It had a little bit of extra mustard on what I call the Eminence front part, that jam before they get back into free. It sounds to me like Eminence front. And then they did Never Needed You Like This Before. It's like a Birth the Greatest Story kind of opener that the Dead used to do. It's fine. It gets the crowd up. Everyone's like, fuck yeah. And then
it's not that I don't like that song, but it represents a mindset of the band that's not my favorite. Like when you have a set that has Never Needed You Like This Before at the top, or like, pretty early on, I know where Trey's mind is at and what the set is going to feel like. And it's not that it's not great, but it's just, for me, not what I really want out of a set. So it's like the exact opposite of starting the show with like Ghost or,
I will
there was
say
no
that-
sign,
very
like,
safe call to open with free. I feel like early on tour, you always see a free opener. You see Ghost early safe sets because it's something they're super comfortable with. Just trying to get the band going, get us on the same track, and just kind of move.
The free was flat in the beginning. It was like they just weren't quite
like tonally or energy. Okay. I didn't know if you were saying that they were like playing out of tune or something.
And by the time they got to 555, 555, they had picked it up. I mean, it's probably the shortest version in a long time. I don't even think it hit 6 minutes, did it?
6 minutes is where it clocked in at. Did it fuck?
No, it did not.
Yeah, but like, why even? I don't know.
We're just
feel the same way after that one.
They wanted to do 2 Mike songs in a row. So we got the Possum after. It was like, all right, here's the 555, Mike. We know you love this. We know you love not fucking.
Mm-hmm.
Now let's do a Possum.
And the Possum was fire. I thought it was great. Good. And it usually is. So it's not like it was like mind-blowing, exceptional, holy shit, what is this Possum? But it was also a very good Possum.
And it felt like an early Possum. Right?
Yeah, last tour they didn't play Possum super early, right? And we're getting an early Possum now.
Right.
Yeah, they needed to turn it around. I think.
MSG they did the first night. Remember they did the Carini and Possum to open, which was huge.
Yeah.
Fucking huge.
I was at that show.
Who are those guys?
Oh yes, the ones.
Oh yeah.
Sometimes the ones you're at are the harder to remember.
Yeah. And then we ended up in No Man's Land, which
I was hoping that was going to be the jam vehicle, right? You always kind of, every time, I love that song because it does make me excited. Any song where I'm like, oh, this could be something is great, right?
This is where they open up.
But I didn't feel the zing I feel like Trey usually has in No Man's when I feel like he's going to take off. I mean, obviously we felt it later, but it ended up being shorter than I anticipated anyway. We knew it wasn't going to go anywhere.
It was another 6 to 8 minute okay, kind of
Wait,
jammy.
was it really that short?
Yeah.
Yeah, it
Wow.
was 8 minutes.
8
Every
minutes.
song in the first set was, I
They
mean,
were, I don't know. I wasn't, first set was odd.
And then
Well-
and then they did an 8-minute song out of that.
yeah, which was
Ocelot.
Ocelot, which was actually good. I really liked that.
That was one of the beautiful things they played that set.
Agreed.
I thought it went
I'm glad they played it tonight.
so you don't have to hear it later.
Yeah. I don't know. I used
No,
to,
it was
Sorry.
beautiful.
You
First
know.
Kev, you're still hosting, right? Do you want me
Yes,
to?
I am. It was beautiful. And then we did Reba, which we talked about a little. I guess Brian, why don't you take Reba?
Reba was good. It was super clean. I thought it was going to start off standardish, and then Fishman kind of started going with the knock blocks a little bit, which I really
Awesome.
love hearing those wood things come in. And he didn't just play them once or twice; he played it for a few bars, which was fun to hear all the way through.
is that what they're called? Knock blocks?
I call them a knock block, but yeah, it's wood blocks. You know.
Let's ask our resident drummer.
Yeah. What is
Yes.
the technical term for the knock blocks?
Well, there's a couple of names: temple blocks, wood blocks, clock block. I've sometimes in like marching instances they call them clock blocks because you keep time. Not cock block, clock block,
block, y'all.
knock
No.
block. I always refer to them as temple blocks. I don't know where that comes from. Like temple, like your body is a temple type, not like tempo, but
I'm sure there's like
Sense.
different history about those types of things, but I
yeah,
thought that Reba was really strong and like just
super strong.
yeah.
I'm glad that they kind of, I mean, it wasn't a perfect riff last night, but it's kind of the same category of intricate, complicated songs that they fucked up in the last 10 years on more than one occasion. And I'm glad to see this tour, them hitting
Somebody
these
was
staples.
practicing. Somebody.
Yeah, no, that's exactly it. They've been practicing. They're tight. And
Reba's one of those songs that even if you don't know anything, you can tell when it's off.
Something's awful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it stands out way more, I feel like, than some other, you know,
It's more like a class. It's like a fugue or a classical piece that it
Yeah,
has
it
to
is.
be played the
Right,
way it was
right,
written.
right,
You know.
yes, I would agree for sure. I'm always relieved when I hear Reba. It's one of those magical songs that always makes people feel good. I mean, we know I'm not trying.
And we whistled, and they whistled tonight.
And the
And a
whistles.
whistle. All about the whistle.
I feel like Trey was really starting to get there during that.
He had sloughed off whatever they were feeling at the beginning of the show. Yeah.
well, this was kind of the turning point for the show, was the Reba. I mean, the Axela wasn't. Well, all right, before we talk about the Axela, did you guys hear him call it? And he said Axela number 2, and like the audio, actually him calling it came through.
Did
It's
not.
part 2, right? Like
I heard him say 2 is what I heard.
I distinctly heard through the headphones Axela number 2, and I was like, I never heard it referred to as number 2.
Number 2.
That's what he said. Like,
Can you imagine if Trey this whole time just calls it number 2?
Number 2. It's the shit.
We just imposed that it was part 2 or something, and they were
right, and we all went with it, and he's like, no, asshole.
It's just been number 2.
Some idiot put it. Some
Dude, that
idiot
would
at
be
Elektra put it wrong on the back of the album, and everyone's been calling it that since.
I have to go back and
like they just
confirm that.
overrode him, and Trey, it's still number 2. Probably. I mean,
You know, it's like after they played that for quite a few Axela 2s in a row, and then like I was like, it'd be nice to hear a 1, but then after that, like first verse sing where they make that noise, they kind of go deep into it. I'm like, that's why I want to hear this every single time. Like,
yeah, that's so cool. I love that weirdness.
just the
It's so
darkness
cool.
you get with the change of the notes up and down.
Yes.
Yeah,
And the one from Fall Tour, that was a beautiful dissonant no wave kind of thing. Reminded me like Sonic Youth or something would have done that, you know?
Yes.
And
It
it's
was
cool
so
when
cool.
you're live at the show, even away from like the nerdy and whatever analytical. Like it is kind of like a trippy sequence and like a very cool thing to experience.
Shine that
Yeah.
light
Fucked
up.
up at a show. You don't show
Yeah.
And meanwhile, Corona like specifically hits the spots all over the crowd. That like I don't remember when I just saw that. I feel like maybe New York or something. It's one of the shows they just played, maybe in the spring tour. And as soon as like don't show in the shit, Corona like pinpointed me out of the crowd and like hit me with one of those spots. I mean, obviously everybody.
And you
feels
felt
that.
like everyone turned around and looked at you.
Yeah, right. And you're just like, get the shit out of my. Anyway.
I mean, there are like a lot of songs that are that like vibe, like maybe like Come kind of, but like that are like kind of that like mushy, trancy kind of. I thought that was awesome.
Falling apart, almost like they're falling apart.
Yes, that's a good.
I like it.
And then we ended up in my favorite song.
Is this your number one?
Yeah, it was my first one I latched onto, and I'll take it every night if they wanted to play it.
Apparently it was Charleston. I'm not great with recalling things. Like Brian Brinkman from HF Pod fucker knows every song of every set list of every show ever, it seems like, and just whips out stats. And I literally saw 4 or 5 shows ago, saw this, and I had no idea, completely forgot. Like, one of those shows.
It's a special kind of person that's able to remember those things.
We should maybe plug real quick, since he's on my mind.
Yeah.
Tomorrow afternoon at 1:00 on Osiris YouTube channel, and wherever you get podcasts, HF Pod's going to be doing another recap of tonight's show. So we're partnering with them this tour. It's awesome. They're great guys and ladies.
So fun.
I love the community collaboration and support of each other and not getting all,
No, it's so special. I love that you guys are doing that this tour.
Politics suck.
Yeah, right. There's too much other shit in life to get upset about.
Yeah,
so those guys are fucking great.
We got an antelope, and I mean, I love it. I don't think that there is a bad antelope. This one, I think they got all the notes in the right place. What do you guys think?
Standard, right through, up and down.
Strong though, really
strong set closer. It was fine.
Yeah.
The only thing not standard about it was the moo sample.
And the underwater cow. That's what I'm saying.
The underwater cow.
That was my. It sounded like mooing and then something underwater. But what did you say you felt like it was, Kev?
No, well, there was
two. Memo. You know what? Such a turd.
He's mad because he called me right before the show, and I said, "Sorry, dude, I got to hang out with."
Oh, it's because we
people.
can't.
I can't miss his phone call.
Yeah.
So
I met Memo again. I mean, I think I met him a couple of times, but I ran into him at Deer Creek, and he was the nicest guy on earth. And I'm from Jersey and kind of an asshole. So I legit thought he was throwing shade at me because of how nice he was, right? Like in Jersey, if people are nice to you like that, they're throwing shade and they're kind of fucked up. But I was like, is Memo pissed? And no, he's genuinely the nicest guy on earth.
I almost met him in New York. He was like, I walked into the bar and he was leaving, and someone said, "There goes Lawn Memo," and I was like,
that's how everything is in New York.
That
is. Like, they're there, and you're like, oh hey, hey, we did Tim. We did the same thing in our section. One of the nights that was D, 5 rows. It's so wild, but yeah, Memo is a wonderful, human who actually is genuinely nice.
Yes.
So that's but I'm the same way. East Coasters, we always we expect that somebody's
you can't just genuinely be nice.
How dare you? No, he's the best.
Yeah, I love the weird looks in New York when you make small talk with the guy at the gas station or something, and they're like, fucking. I'm like, oh yeah.
Well, I mean, you were also baked Wook coming out of a Phish show and talking to a light pole. So
the dollar slices, man. Where's the dollar slices?
Honestly, I mean, Kev was in way better shape than we were when we saw him after MSG.
Oh yeah, he's got these calf muscles.
I was very
looking good. That bar was crazy.
Looks very good on Kev.
They had a life-size Connect 4 in that bar.
Yeah, that
was weird.
Yeah, that was Pioneer Bar. We spent way too much time there. MSG, but it was a good safe space.
Wook showed up there too, right?
For everybody to
Wook showed up and came through and said,
Yeah. That was the one time I got to actually hang out and talk for a little bit. That was fun. I got completely puddled night 4 and didn't go out at all after that, and almost to the point where I was like, "What the fuck am I doing?"
That happened one of the nights.
Peeking out the window of the hotel room.
Yeah, it's like the city just got the better of me by a 4-night run in New York is intense, man.
Together. What night was that when we were at Pioneer Bar?
It was one of the nights. Second or third night, we both ate way too much.
Yeah, but it was.
We looked at each other, and I was like, "You didn't hate the show, did you?" He's like, "You didn't hate the show." I'm like,
they're just bros. Back at Pioneer Bar after fake New Year's. Anyway,
going through songs, whatever, just tears.
The town painted all of us instead of us.
It did.
So let's get back to the second set. And
that's the banger.
Speaking of MSG and masks, we had Sigma Oasis to open up which was great.
They got straight into the electronic. Let's start playing with wrong number stuff. Let's go.
Trey loves playing that song. Like, I'm always pro Trey because I feel like sometimes there's songs where Trey's really excited about it. And we're like, what the fuck? This is weird. And then it ends up being these amazing songs. And I feel
how you end up liking a Soul Planet or even like a Ruby Waves. You're like, any of the Soul series. Right, like the Soul, Love, and Light series.
Soul Cycle. You have to get 4 Soul songs in a show. You hit for the Soul Cycle.
Yeah, it's Youth Pastor Trey. It's.
I call it Tolle rock.
Yeah,
because it's like everything. If you read an Eckhart Tolle book, he basically
it's all like positive affirmations. Yeah.
Right, but if you're gonna have him be excited about a jam, it might as well be Sigma Oasis. I think is the point you were getting at, right? Like, if he's excited and energized by it, that's a good one for him.
And it's I feel like it's a great omen for a set.
Yeah, well, obviously, this set was fucking the bee's knees, as they say.
And it started revisiting some of the darker areas, towards the end.
Well, like Trey could either start off a jam with playing like a whole bunch of notes and you hear it, or this, like I said, went the other way. Dark, little dirty, electronic-y, kind of like throwing it out there, and then just popped into the next thing.
Yeah, I did feel. Yeah,
there wasn't much buildup before that giant electronic-y thing.
Yeah,
or whatever.
There was a moment where we both looked at each other and we were like, okay, like, come on, are you gonna these people drove a long way, let's do it. And I felt like there was a moment where they really kicked it off.
Yeah.
Before that, I was kind of feeling like I'm kind of glad I didn't drive up to Maine. Like, I made the right decision. And then right around halfway through Sigma Oasis, I was starting to feel like, oh shit, maybe I should have been there because it was getting really good. And then, of course, what comes next?
We aren't going to have any 20+ minute jams.
It's my favorite. It's now my favorite button that we have on the show.
We aren't going to have any 20+ minute jams.
You got to get the sample pad like Fishman and get those things going.
And it's also the thick Baltimore accent. It really rounds that out.
Sets it over the top.
So this disease, who wants to start on this? This has a lot to offer. Oh, we're going to have a button battle? Come on, man, act professional.
What was that you were drinking?
That was wine. I typically drink wine on this show, although for the after shows I've been drinking beer.
We switched to wine. I also have a beer.
Seltzer and wine.
It's warm.
Seltzer. All right, man. so you, Brian, go with the disease. What do you got?
So the start of it, I thought was kind of just going to be some sort of standard. Trey started playing, just some notes going into it. It wasn't really much like, I don't know, pedals or anything that he was using. And I don't know, it was kind of a little ripping. And then all of a sudden you heard that one change. It was like the mod that went on. And then it was like, oh, all of a sudden they just sort of kicked into something where everybody was understanding what they were talking about. And the band was talking well back and forth to each other. And I don't know, it just kind of went from there. It was, like I said, slow start and just kind of moved on.
Super hosey. I just got that kind of, it wasn't like a really dark disease jam or like, it was just really it was more like on the, I guess it did get kind of weird, right?
It did get totally weird.
It got really weird. And then it kind of rounded out. But yeah, I guess it did get kind of weird.
That was the second act of the jam, in my opinion, when it got weird. And the first act was super just like regular standard heady in a good way, classic Phish. Like if I had to explain what classic jammy Phish, like Phish jams were to a stranger, a normie that never heard it, the first act of that set was like very traditional Fishy jam, which I loved and was great. And it probably could have ended there any other night and been like, that was a disease. Like that's what I expect out of a disease. And then when they turned it and everybody was like, oh shit, shit's about to go down. It's going to get weird. Then that second act is what elevated it.
Thank God.
It just
Thank
kind
God.
of kept building. Trey had a bunch of really fast notes towards the end of it, and he really kind of peaked it really well.
His face, you could really tell.
He was
Somebody,
extremely into
I saw somebody tweet about it too, but there was a moment.
Oh, Drew
at
Fish said,
when
Paige turned around. Apparently, it didn't show it on the live Phish, but Paige turned around, looked at Trey, and said, "Wow!"
Like jaw dropped,
Dropping
spun
shit.
around in
And
his
then
chair.
Trey-
Trade, yeah.
That's awesome.
Those are the little things.
Yeah.
Being there.
Paige had some moments in that jam too, though, where like Trey was just kind of laying there and Mike was doing his thing, and then Paige really took the lead on parts of it. I kind of felt like Phish, Trey, and Paige were doing this trifecta thing. Not that Mike was ever out of it, but he just was kind of steady through the whole thing, and the other three kept passing the torch or whatever, the mantle. Yeah, they're passing something to keep it going.
No torches.
We don't talk about those.
But yeah, at the end of it, like there was a build, then a build, then a build, then a build, then a build, and you thought they were going to get to that peak. They just kind of built and built and built. It was a really cool like bar.
And then they went back and actually finished the song. We no longer have to asterisk.
Oh,
Didn't they finish it?
Yeah, they finished it.
Yeah. And so we no longer have to asterisk every one of them unfinished,
And
like
honestly,
in 3.0.
Years, them finishing songs has made me more happier than I think with them just leaving things open ended, because to be able to step back from whatever mode you're in to get to that ending. I think it was like a 1 or 2 switch thing to the end for Disease. They hit it and they got to the end of it. It was nice.
And then
weird abrupt endings also recently, haven't we?
Yes.
Yeah, well, especially in the spring, there was some that.
Yeah, there were some spring ones that were questionable.
That were kind of just like almost felt like cheap scapegoats, where
Yeah.
they were just like the jam's iffy, and then like, you know, they start singing the chorus again. Like, oh, this jam sucks. Let's sing the chorus and end it. Like,
Right.
I mean, I remember. I don't know if it was just because it was a different time in my life, but I remember it being a big deal when like Down with Disease was finished.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? Wasn't it like a whole thing?
Yeah.
Like,
I don't think they finished it in 3.0 ever.
No.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. It was like a
Yeah.
whole like thing, right?
is it
First
too
time they
early? I
finished
hate to be that guy, but like, I don't
you
remember a
don't.
Disease from 3.0 that I would put ahead of what I think I heard tonight. Like, I think it's up in the top few at least.
What about the Baker's Dozen one? Or is that Chalk Dust that people always talk about?
It's Chalk Dust? It's
I'm
not.
still going to go with the Reading one. The Reading has been my favorite 3.0 Disease.
I
was 10 feet from the band for that one, but
I live like 10 minutes from Reading now, and I hate the fact that they're never going to come back here because I moved here after they last played.
Long
here.
after.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see what people think later
How
on
it
in the
stacks
tour.
up, right.
I feel like there's always a monster jam towards the beginning of a tour that after you get through a whole tour, like kind of falls, you know, on the back of the list, or like people forget about because whatever they do in Alpine or, you know, Dick's or whatever is going to like take the spotlight. But I feel like this one might have the potential to be on the forefront of our minds for a while. Like, I think it was probably that good.
A bracket winner, even.
Longest diseases.
Yeah,
It might be.
probably.
I think it.
We'll have to get our interns on that. and
Yeah.
research it.
We don't have a producer tonight. We had a producer night 1, and then they're like, "Fuck it, we're doing this every night. We're not doing that shit."
They're on strike. Better
I
working
thought it was
conditions.
awesome. I just think, like, I feel like there's something really special about being like. Of course, people are going to complain and bitch about the first set not being good, people going all that way. But having a 30-minute jam like that really was special and unique. Like you said, it might be like overlooked with all these other things, but it still, I think, was really cool. And it was at a cool venue in a small space. And who knows when they're going to play there again. And like the Bangor Disease is Bangor. I know it's not Bangor. It's Bangor.
Banger.
No, it's Bangor for Disease.
I think, well, I think that definitely deserves some recognition.
And then there's the Banger Tweezer from way back when.
We just saw Brendan McLean say the Miami Disease and the.
We don't talk about the Dick's disease. That's
right.
Rex. Miss you, Rex. Really to see you.
all right. And then we dropped into What's the Use, which I love. I'm big
Dude,
instrumental.
Carolyn with the fucking What's the Use call. Holy shit. She called it like 10 minutes before.
Yeah, it was sick.
I mean, phenomenal. energy. The whole, I'm sure being in that room when they dropped in What's the Use was
fat,
epic.
nice way to go through it. It was good. You know,
They
So
do that. I feel like when your face is melted, so that you'll shut the fuck up during What's the Use.
Yeah, What's the Use is like, calm.
Right. If they do it after a subpart jam, everybody I feel like won't be engaged or be talking. Nobody was really talking during this because everybody was still trying to collect their thoughts of like, what the fuck
Like,
did
what
we
did
just
we just
see?
like? Right.
Although
yeah.
I did hear a couple of woos, which public service announcement: don't woo during What's the Use.
Yeah,
Don't be that guy or girl.
But
Like
for
it
the
doesn't.
most, like,
do not woo during Hydrogen. Do not woo
Right.
during What's the Use.
you know how Trey always tries
Yeah.
to go. Trey tries to go for the big pause and divided sky. He gets the pauses and What's the Use because people don't know what the fuck's going on. They don't even think to cheer. They're like, why'd they stop?
Right, because
What
their
was-
face is on the floor. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. We've been listening to the Sicket disc a lot.
we went through that on a road.
I would
trip.
like
I am wondering why we've never gotten My Name is Slick.
my name.
Right.
It's so cool. Albert, My Name is Slick. They do My Left Toe, right? And they do What's the
Yeah.
Use.
Yeah, we started with my left toe.
Yeah.
But I think My Left Toe and What's the Use are the only two off there.
Yeah, Albert, I really think is cool too. I think that's such a cool fucking thing. I really like listening to that. But I think What's the Use was awesome. I thought it was beautifully placed.
Yeah.
Technically,
And-
Phish bass is like Walfredo or something like that, right? 'Cause
Yeah.
the bass. So.
And I love we ended up in Fluffhead. Strange place.
I was really happy for everybody.
Yes,
I was like,
so.
good, everybody, you got a fluff head. I mean, it's like that's the universal.
Always fun to hear. Always good. Like
So
it
good.
was, there was no major flubs. It was fine. It's
Another clean
I mean,
performance.
That's the one crowd
Yeah.
pleaser I will never
Yep, so-
When they go back into the Fluffhead part and all the white lights, there is nothing like that. You can feel the building lift up off the ground.
I live. I always say my toxic trait is I can never not film the Fluffhead Peak when I'm there.
All right,
At
so
least
let me put you
I
on the
have
spot.
to remember this. Like,
Let me put you on the spot. Which one did they nail more, the Fluffhead or the Reba?
well, I honestly I feel like the Reba was a little bit stronger for some
Reba.
reason, and I don't. This might be my hot take of the night. It might be a little controversial, but I felt like Trey's vocals weren't quite where they usually are on the Fluffhead Peak. I felt like he was a little weak there. I mean, Crota always saves it at anything because he's able to do the lights and everything, but I don't know. My gut was Reba. It's hard for me to say that, but
I would agree
no,
with
that's
you.
the right
I would
answer.
agree with you.
I think that's the right
yeah.
answer.
I mean, Fluffhead
Yeah.
is always really good. There was something I just felt, I don't know, not quite like, but I guess, I mean, the last one was the MSG Fluffhead. Holy shit. That was.
that one all the time. Everybody.
That's what puddled me. Well, I think that was the night that fucked
Yeah,
my
it's
head.
also, I feel like Fluffhead Inside is just a little bit more
Yeah.
Fun.
songs
Yeah.
that really
It's
translate.
a different vibe.
Different vibe, but
Yeah.
like my glasses look weird in this. Sorry.
The
Anyway,
key on this is to not look at yourself. It's
all
fine.
right, never look in the mirror. That's what they say. But
Yeah.
All right, so then we ended up in Twist.
I that's like for some reason I always forget about Twist, but it's one of my
that
favorite.
was a cool little start of
Yeah,
an
and it was like
beginning,
funky
right?
and it's
It
kind of
was
slow at the
slower.
beginning. It was like
But it was short, so short.
Sure.
yeah, that's right.
So short. What you
Was the
got,
whole
Tim?
was the whole set short?
A little bit, yeah. But
They
I-
ran 80 minutes the first set. They usually do 70 and 70 about.
Right.
70, 75. So
Okay.
Mhm.
what you got on Twist, man?
So what's
Sorry.
up, Wook?
Sorry.
no, we have to have an awkward pause in every
Yes.
Wook Plus show. It's actually written in our contract.
Yeah.
Sorry, we are. I told you.
Twist is one of the very few songs I'm okay with wooing.
Yes,
But Trey decided to do it in
Wow.
the Sigma reprise,
yeah, maybe
which
just-
did not constitute a twist. So I do not accept that woo. I do not think that was an appropriate woo placement. But no, I like Twist. I always like Twist. It's a great song. And honestly, at that point, it didn't really matter to me. I was like, just don't fuck up the set. That was what I wanted, is like finish this set strong enough, to not fuck up what you just did. And I think they finished strong enough. It was great.
Yeah.
I love Twist.
And then the Sigma Oasis reprise, I am huge on this. It felt really flawless. Like it was just, I'm sure they thought about it beforehand because you wouldn't have nailed it like that, but it just did seem so seamless going back into it.
Yeah.
They do transitions really well and 20-minute songs.
What about mooing? That's funny.
And mooing is good too.
Mooing is good.
We aren't going to have any 20+ minute jams.
Jams.
Oh, that's never going away.
I know it isn't. That's my life now.
Are we considering this a 6-song set, or are we considering this a 5-song set?
Yeah, what are they calling it?
With an asterisk on it, because I don't know, man. They're pretty much, and I'm not listening to .net because they got some weird opinions on stuff.
I would call it a 5-song. It can only be a 5-song set if you list Sigma Oasis as reprise. Then it's a 5-song set.
I think it's
getting
a 5-song
that reprise
set.
fucking in there one way or another.
It felt like a 5-song set to me.
It did feel like one.
I agree.
I'm just
And
saying.
I feel like that's what matters.
And there's some. I'm a stats guy. I want to know for stats purposes. Like,
I think stats at 6 probably.
I don't know. I feel like it didn't. No, I don't really feel like that should count as another thing. Especially because it wasn't. Oh, and there's something. Wait, what did he say?
He said the lighting adjustment was good.
Oh, I feel like I'm too. I feel really exposed. I was thinking.
I feel like the chat is. Wait, no, hold on. Stop it, Kev. Fucking Jesus.
No, I need these positive affirmations from Sambo shows. He's great.
No, I was. All right, Kev. No, I was gonna say I feel like the chat is trying to move us into the encore here because we're just stuttering at the end of the seconds.
We're really stoned. Red wine and weed,
Roses are free. Everyone knows going to have any 20+ minute jams.
If you came here for a polished podcast talking about Phish, you're probably at the wrong channel. I'm just saying.
You probably want to check out HF Pod tomorrow at 1:00 where they'll actually have their thoughts together.
This is very polished. Honestly, my favorite polished was you after Charleston, Tim, when we got you to call in. That was fun.
I asked you something, you're like, I don't know.
Yeah. You were like, I have to go. My wife, I have to go. That was good. That was really fun.
All right, so we got Roses Are Free. Nothing fantastic. It was,
sounded slightly a little bit different. There maybe been a couple extra chords in there that Trey played.
It's been a long time since they played it, so I guess I was expecting, right?
It's Halloween.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah,
I didn't.
The first set. It was the middle of the first set, and it was a short one. They're never going back though.
They're never going to stretch that thing out again. Yeah, I have never seen those days. I'm sure you have, but it's okay.
But then they ended up in First Tube, which if you don't like First Tube, I don't know what you're doing at a Phish show.
I mean, how many times has Trey played First Tube in the last month? And how many different bands? Like,
right.
That guy is never going to miss a note on that song.
Nope. He's going to nail it every time.
It felt a little bit
my favorite was when they played what's it called, First Tube on Gordon's birthday, and I don't think Gordon likes First Tube too much. And then Trey's like, it was a great set. And Trey looked over Mike, he said First Tube, and Gordon's like, but it's my birthday, Trey. And Trey's like, we're going for it anyway, so
he's like, it's my fucking band, asshole. Dun, dun, dun.
What does he not like it because it's Tony's bass line and it wasn't him?
I remember that. Berkeley 2010, it was like the second or third song of the Encore. Trey called for it, and just fucking Gordon's face just went straight down.
It's an ostinato, which is it's like a repeating bass pattern.
There's nothing else you can do with it.
Nothing. That's it. No, it's not. It's just dum 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 dum. Oh, over and over the entire song.
You can do something with sand. You can't do, and those are the same notes, but you can't do something with First Tube.
And Mike's probably the third best person to play it with Trey, honestly. Like Tony and Des both play it way better, right? Which is not a hard thing.
That's their wheelhouse. That's why Mike plays with Phish, because he isn't that kind of bass player.
Right. He's not the pocket. I mean, he is a pocket guy sometimes, but not to the same level. I don't know. I think I fucking love it. I don't give a shit what Mike thinks.
I love hearing it too. It's a really, like I said, if you don't like First Tube, yeah, you got something wrong with you.
Yeah.
I mean, if we have to listen to Mole once every 7 or 8 shows, then he has to play First Tube.
You know what? You just jinxed us. No, actually, you know, with Tuesday, the song's about tacos, so they're probably going to do it at the Man.
If you're worried about what you're going to catch at a show, Kev, here's my advice: go to more shows, because the next show
I'm not worried. I'm more worried about.
Right.
I like to think about what I don't want to catch.
I want it all. I even Mole, even any mic set list killer.
I'd rather have casual
I'll take a
sex or whatever that song
just to hear
was.
Trey fuck that solo up again. That's on my bucket list, is hearing another Sugar Shack.
Heady stats. How many Sugar Shacks have you seen Trey fuck up?
Actually, this is funny. Like up and through 2010 or 11, I was at like 15 out of like 19 Sugar Shacks. It was just like
that's excessive.
That's a lot of fucking Sugar Shacks.
A lot of rot your teeth and shit.
It almost feels like they're doing it to you on purpose.
Shows, so it happens.
He really thought he was going to get it.
Yeah,
never really got it. Did he?
Almost got it.
We'll probably never see another Sugar Shack.
Out of the
piece of me dies when somebody says that. You know?
I can't wait for them to play it at the Man.
Tomorrow,
really gonna be like,
we're not going to have any 20+ minute jams. And on that note, we're going to say goodnight.
Wait. We forgot to do this every night so far. Like and subscribe and hit the bell and whatever all the other shit that the responsible YouTube hosts say. Follow us and like and subscribe. We haven't been telling people to do that, and it means a lot because it actually helps us get the content out. So
I want to hear all the feedback, good and bad. I'll argue with you online. I'll hug you in real life. I'm all for it. Like, let's do this.
We love you guys. Thanks for
I got one more thing. On Tuesday, it's going to be tea with fan sets and Lenny Duncan. So make sure they
later in
the year. Yes.
I heard we're going to get Mike Lowe on our show too. Apparently, that might be the same day.
I have you. Yes, on 7/29 with Mike Lowe. That is exactly right.
That's
and then
awesome.
8/10 that day for Raleigh. We're excited.
Day. We love you guys.
Thank you.
I love you.
We'll see you soon.